Toss won by Ma Long, chooses to receive, so Alexis LEBRUN will be starting off with the serve and chooses the left side of the table. Man, there's so much to talk about as he says flash. Let's make sure no flash photography is here. The talk of the world, the LEBRUN brothers. Alexis, 20 years old, was formerly the best 19-year-old in the world, and his younger brother you'll have a chance to see later on. But 35 years old, equaling the age of, as far as I can tell, the oldest starring Chinese player, Wang Liqin, who retired at 35 years old. Ma Long still in incredible form. 46 titles. I remember when he was chasing Vladimir Samsonov, it felt like 28? I don't know. So just the amount of titles between where he was then and where he is now, he hasn't stopped collecting. But what about Alexis LEBRUN?
Yet to win a WTT event, but got close at the contender Tunis, and of course at the champions in Macau. Very, very amazing player, Alexis LEBRUN, with many unique features. He's got the good blend of the French flair, but also ultra aggression, Alexis. He's a shake hand player, unlike his brother, who is the best pen holder on the planet. Would you believe a European having that kind of status?
Interestingly enough, I think the two best pen holders in the world are both Europeans. One of which his parent is from China, so a little bit more understandable. But for Félix Lebrun, his idol, the player that he saw growing up in Montpellier, was the player who played the pen hold grip, and he liked it so much. A very table tennis family. Father, Stéphane Lebrun, was number 7 in France, which is a very difficult nation to be number 7 in. Ma Long, looking good there with the Ma Long tiara on. Fans getting their VIP seats where they can. Again, seeing Ma Long live in person would be like seeing Michael Jackson live in concert. Just the idea that you have a chance to see the greatest to grace the stage of the sport in his career. We don't know how much longer he will be around. You have to imagine after the Olympic Games, there won't be much, because while he's the greatest we've ever seen, he's also a team player and knows that for China, he has to do what's best. After Paris, he'll probably give a chance to the young up-and-comers to fill the roles to make sure that China stays secure for the future.
Game 1. LEBRUN to serve.
Drying off the towel there. LeBron says, you can do it. Me too. I'll dry off my glasses. Let's go for a walk, shall we?
Love all.
Got any bird seed? There's a nice bench. Here we go. Alexis LEBRUN to start off the best of 5. Quick answer there as Ma Long catches the back edge of the table but handles the parallel opener quite well.
He's never lost to a LEBRUN, Ma Long, and that's after their rise to fame. He's beaten Félix 3 times in 3 meetings, and obviously Alexis.
Just
so
once.
Good.
Now, we had a chance, I guess, to see these two playing in the final, the World Championships. Oh, look at this. Just thinking to myself, Alexis LEBRUN is versus, is it Fan Zhendong that he played the second match? And he put up an incredible fight.
Had match point in the 4th. Fan Zhendong somehow managed to save that with an amazing forehand. But it goes to show how confident, how, despite being so new to the scene, no imposter syndrome whatsoever.
Second time here that Ma Long's found a good response, but got a little bit of favor to go with it, a little fortune off the edge. How does Ma Long know so well? Alexis goes right down the line.
Because of the power of Ma Long and many Chinese players and top professional players for that matter, you sometimes forget about the control and anticipation and wisdom. If they didn't have that, they wouldn't be in position to even play these shots.
Yeah, everything you just mentioned, Ma Long has no shortage of. His cup floweth over, runneth over. Either way, he's got the footwork. Just about every element of the game Ma Long has. Now this is the rocket power. You touched on it briefly. The French creativity behind the table. Alexis LEBRUN, no stranger to sidespin, but in these replays, that opening backhand flick, a flash of light where the racket was.
It's magnificent how relaxed he holds the bat. Has to get that.
Exactly, I was just thinking the same. One of the best pieces of advice I ever heard about a backhand, obviously not able to demonstrate it nearly like these guys, but a very light grip on the racket. It's common for players, tournament players coming up to flex and squeeze hard because they want to put power in, but it tends to slow down the racket speed.
It doesn't. Any spin or speed you up again seems to be exaggerated. It's when you're relaxed, you get more feeling of the bat. You can sense the vibrations more.
Speaking of feeling, it's the second time we've seen some pretty tricky stuff there in preparation. Alexis LEBRUN bouncing the ball up the edge of the racket, spinning it on his fingertips.
It's almost like possessed, isn't he, at times? Like he's shaking in between points. You think he'd be too tense to do the finger trick, but he's not. That's how driven, motivated he is.
And I wouldn't say this if he didn't say it himself, but he calls himself mad. It's a bit crazy.
Maybe you need to be very good at this sport.
I love it. Smart play, fools him on the opening. Now, this is a good example of not going for power, but for placement. Oh, look at that! Strawberry!
I'm surprised you missed it.
Well, it was so subtle.
It was so subtle.
I mean, if Ma Long can miss it, I feel completely in good company.
I know you're a massive fan of that one.
Oh, man, it was a baby strawberry. It's fresh off the vine.
6-all.
Now, one other thing I want to highlight specifically about Ma Long's game. We could go on praising him. Still, there are two players ahead of him in the world ranking. Get ready for your lollipop, the windshield wiper. The thing that I was going to say about Ma Long is most players at this level, the professional level, oh, it turned out to be a tomahawk.
Little subtle change again.
Much like the baby strawberry, it wasn't until we could see it from this camera angle that it was clear what was happening. That's how subtle and quick his contact is. I'd also, man, I'm taking too long to make the point. Ma Long's incredibly good inside the baseline. It's like he sawed off the last 10 centimeters of the table and stolen the opening attack. That said, he held up his hand there to not be rushed. Alexis and Felix both serve quicker than most. Naturally fast rhythm.
It's funny because at first I think a lot of players are kind of saying, stop, please, not quite ready yet. But I've seen more and more common now that players actually match the rhythm.
Well, I think the Yuan Li Sun red card might have been a slapping of the hand that people noticed.
7-9.
But speaking of slap here, quick reaction down the line. Alexis LEBRUN inside the table. A little bit of side on it, uses the wrist to bend back and play it wide. The marquee match of the day, and it's tight now.
Physicality there. Amazing contortion from both men, but Ma Long there, out the middle twice, still keeping pressure on, and look how he sinks that right knee in.
Jumping, leaping, I love it, to create space, and it's 3 game points. Chop block doesn't bother him. He's got the antidote on the other side. 11-7, Ma Long takes game number 1. He's still got it, and then some. The world number 3 takes the first, but while that chop block was pretty, it wasn't the looks that took care of business. And we know that Alexis LEBRUN can turn things around. We saw him under pressure in Korea 2 weeks ago. 11-7. And the Dragon, in the year of Ma Long, starts off with the first game in this best of 5. Players back to the table as Ma Long with the shower towel as usual. Towels off and gets ready. Remember,
Game
towel
2.
breaks only every 6 points.
Ma to serve. Love all.
Winnie Che is clear as can be. Game 2, the Dragon to start it off.
Love 1.
Fraser, if you expected any changes out here, what would you expect to see from Alexis?
I think we might see him trying to get the wide forehand of Ma Long as much as possible and as soon as possible. I think he's actually quite confident going backhand to backhand with Ma Long. So we'll see him, I think, engage in that kind of play. And I don't know, Ma Long isn't a flicker, is he? So can he play into that area as well?
It's funny. I know what you mean by that. And just to sort of add to that, he doesn't come in for the backhand banana receiver, banana flick, but he's won 6 of the last 8 points. Serious momentum here from Ma Long. He doesn't do it as much as others. I think the most notable flick from Ma Long, other than a forehand flick, which he's incredible at, is his pancake flick. Or I like to say pancake flip just because it works, but where he shows push, he pretends like he's going to drop it, and then he turns the racket over, flips it like a pancake.
And I'll tell you who's got a fantastic forehand pancake, Paul Drinkall. Really, really good forehand pancake. I'm a bit biased, but it's true.
Oh, because Fraser, if it were spelled with a PH. Anyway. So here we go. Ma Long turning, covers the middle well. You have to remember, Ma Long, speaking of British players, as we look at our ball kids here, the seniors of the ball kids here who've earned the right to be here for this match. Gonna say, Liam Pitchford of England, one of the few that sort of put the crack in the windshield, the start of what could be a reminder that Ma Long is beatable. I was going to say, though, if you look at the knees, Ma Long's got nothing on his knees. Knee support for Alexis LEBRUN, but it's Ma Long who in 2019 came out of a surgery for his knee.
5-3.
In the United States, of all places, during a training at UCLA.
How many months did he take out before he came back and won the Worlds now? It must have been about at least 3 or 4 months, right?
So I was just going to say, they showed his knees there for a minute to give you a fresh look. He took some time, came back, and won the Qatar Open in 2019, and then went on to win the Worlds not long after. And then the Olympics in 2021. Now 12 of the last 16 points. The crazy thing is, being a back-to-back-to-back, 3-time defending world champion, didn't show up for his 4th. He would have been the first player in the modern era where the World Championships for singles happens every other year. To my knowledge, no man nor woman has won 4 consecutive since it became an every other year thing. Beautiful side spin, changing it up. Creatively speaking, he just doesn't care. This is the madness that he talks about. There's so many things. He lives so freely. And he cares about winning, obviously. He doesn't care about what you think. He's so in the zone right now. And that's the second time we've seen him show what looks like it's going to be a lollipop and turn to the tomahawk, where he contacts the right side of the ball as opposed to brushing inside it.
So refreshing to see. Because he's taking inspiration from a lot of players, but he's not going to show you too much respect. He's in his zone, he's going to do his thing. And he's just a fantastic young player.
Snap back with the backhand, quick. You mentioned that he's good behind the table, and I agree. I think it's interesting to me how dangerous he is. He's not allowing himself to get behind the table, and for a good reason. I don't think it's going to be a recipe for success. But he can so subtly bring out this very effective, quick backhand.
Again. Oh my word, that is absolutely ridiculous. Chop block and then the counter winner.
He's got the touch, he's got the speed, he's got the power, the forehand flick. There it is. From under the table, he knows Ma Long's going to have to put a little more arc on it.
The look.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Ma Long looking, no eye contact.
8,
That look to me was as if to say, I don't have to deal with you. I have to deal with myself. I'm thinking about what needs to happen, but this is a complete flip here in momentum. 6 of the last 8 for Alexis. Perfectly placed onto the elbow, right in between the forehand and backhand. What you thinking?
It was this kind of moment in terms of scoreboard pressure in game 1 where Ma Long just found that wiggle room.
Ma Long makes it look easy to pull that right knee back to jump, but as we saw in the replay, even one of the best in the world, world number 20, a player who's relatively recently beaten world number 1 and came quite close very recently, 2 weeks ago, Alexis LEBRUN, it's not easy to cover the middle like that. But deep enough to the backhand, change of pace as well. Alexis LEBRUN doesn't go for the rocket power. Coach Nat Molan encouraging from the bench. The deception on that push, it looked like he was going to cut and go to the wide forehand, but he brushed inside the ball.
He does a little shimmy with his shoulders and his head as well. Brilliant.
This combination, the push deep to the backhand, then the rocket backhand, did his 2 game points at the third towel break for the 20-year-old Alexis LEBRUN. Look at that combination of shots.
It's just devastating.
Not over yet, though. 7 of the last 8. And Ma Long saves one more needed to send it to deuce, but on the other side, one needed to send it to game 3. It tied up. I roll my R's when I am feeling shy. Forehand has it, the step around. Alexis LEBRUN 11-9, and you are watching exactly what you need to be. The plot thickens here, and no matter what happens in this, it just became that much more interesting. Under the table, and still able to power through the roar of the 20-year-old that you will be seeing in Paris, and you will be seeing in moments here for game number 3. It is tied up at 1 game apiece.
Et il va falloir doubler une course. En venant très vite dessus. Vas-y les services, vas-y, hein. Mets-lui le bon ce service.
Ma Long fans aplenty, but the ones with the best seats in the house there on camera.
Game 3. LEBRUN to serve. Love all.
Concern there in the front row, fingers locked.
LEBRUN, your ball seems to be inside the table. Please behind the end line. Behind the end line, even before.
Okay.
Love all.
As clear communication as can be on the toss before the contact. She said your serve seems to be inside the baseline, and he said before, and she said yes, before. The toss and the contact have to be behind the baseline of the table.
1-all.
And a service gift here, but taking his chances, it's all going to be worth it in the end. Should he get the victory, he will have to take some chances with those long serves. Tabian indeed. Very good, says Coach Nat Molan. The quality side and topspin, but you wouldn't know there was much side with the pace on that opening attack. Short rallies here. Alexis LEBRUN looking to not give the average to the favorite here as Wang Hao watches on. The best reverse penhold backhand the world has ever seen, but someone with the same last name here might be looking to match that in his long future ahead. So Ma Long in front by 1 here.
Is there something in the crowd?
Scoreboard.
Oh.
Corrected you. Nice.
Okay.
There it was. Little conversation there. He's like, I think I have the lead, don't I? Can you imagine? How did you lose that match 19-17 in the decider to Ma Long? Oh, we forgot the score. No, they caught it pretty early. They've got a lot to focus on, in all fairness. And if you've got digital scoreboards as opposed to the handheld ones on the table there, the old school ones, it's not quite as in the line of sight for the players. So good catch early on. Now a 2-point lead to the young French star.
He's nipping things in the bud in more ways than one, Alexis LEBRUN. Little lap of victory. I've just been thinking to myself, I know I went a bit quiet, but I was thinking, has a French player ever beaten Ma Long? I cannot name a single French player. And to say that they are such a dominant force at the moment as well, goes to show how good the Dragon is.
No one comes to mind. I remember Tristan Fleur taking him to game number 7.
Yeah, what a match.
And then putting on an around-the-table exhibition around the world before racing to the airport to catch his plane. But, yeah, we'll see.
That'll be the only time I've seen Ma Long applaud an opponent on an international stage.
4-6-3.
I was trying to hear. Did you catch what happened?
I didn't.
Okay.
I thought I heard something.
I thought I heard fault, which there's a lot to talk about in this match. We'll keep a close look on it. Update you in a bit. It's not the first time we've seen him put that side spin on the opening backhand receive. The banana flick. It's abbreviated. It's a little bit more subtle, but he still tilts the racket down and comes in from the side, and it's got him up by 3, LeBron.
Oh my
Second time now, and it's a 4-point lead. This starts to get scary for Ma Long. Now, I know a lot of fans, yes, for me personally and for a lot of fans, we like to see China challenged. It's a rare occasion for China to have any serious threat, and Ma Long has been beaten by Lin Yunru recently. Harimoto.
Lee Sang-soo as well.
Lee Sang-soo, that's right.
9-4.
Only a handful of players in modern history have beaten Ma Long. And 6 of the last 8. Alexis LEBRUN making a real campaign here in Game 3.
5-9.
Even Benedict Duda gave it a good crack as well this season. Lost in the deciding game, but yeah. This isn't the 2015 Ma Long. That said, I feel as though the strength in depth, the number of challenges has increased in the last few years.
I start to think to myself, again, the big question, if you've got one last hurrah for the greatest of all time, and someone will pass him by at some point in time, you'd have to imagine, of course, future, quite long. But I only bring it up to say, if in our lifetime we don't see anyone break the records that Ma Long has set, his last Olympic appearance,
timeout.
And a timeout is called here. We could hear the racket on the table before that. Paris 2024, how will we see Ma Long?
Ça n'a rien à voir avec le jeu, c'est que tu commences à partir, c'est que tu ressens. Le jeu, il est bon. Mais surtout, en fait, pour moi, c'est comment tu vas te comporter derrière. Enfin, c'est pas de comportement, c'est comment tu veux actionner derrière, dans l'aspect combat. Tu peux venir, tu vas chercher. Ouais. Allez.
I love it. High five denied. He said, no, not yet. We've got more. Alexis LEBRUN put up his hand. Coach Molan was like, no, not yet.
I like it.
One more thing.
I like it.
Now I send you off ready to go. So you got a bit of French. Anything you caught there?
I must admit I couldn't hear that very clearly.
9-7.
But I'm sure it was apt.
Backhand to backhand. Oh, back edge of the table for Ma Long.
Ooh, I didn't see that at all. Unbelievable.
Wow.
The shot tolerance there.
9-8.
In the sense that he got so many back. That's rough. Big point right there. 1 point closer. Oh, the change of pace as Ma Long just arcs it to that deep forehand. Something a little funky. Look at this spin. And the ball side spin, hooks out, and jumps past.
Unreal. Nail-biting moment here in game 3.
Is it 9-6?
Something like that. It was convincing, wasn't it?
Well, it's tight now. Not over yet. Serves with Ma Long. Last 2-serve combination in game 3. Oh, burned! Ma Long turns. This is the wide forehand you talked about when I said what would be changed. I think after game 1. Look at the placement on that and the curve on that ball.
Oh my God, that was so sexy from Alexis LEBRUN.
So here we go. Game point for Alexis LEBRUN on receive. Ooh, Ma Long protects, does what he does. It is not over yet. They will alternate serves until one player has a 2-point lead to take this game. Deuce. This is tough because for me that felt like a very secure shot with extra spin and going for placement to the middle. A change of pace stroke. Yet Ma Long is now sitting on game point. And it carries long. Ma Long takes it 12-10. The backhand flick. And you can feel the frustration as he's trying to control for a moment. Alexis LEBRUN with a very good position in this game. And the timeout did not get cashed in. Ma Long is incredible at finding these subtleties to really protect himself. At 9-all, it looked like it could go the other way, but it's 2-1 for Ma Long. Conversation time in game 4 to follow. Coming up next, we've got a big battle in the women's singles round of 64. Zheng Jian of Singapore on screen has been a staple for the team for some time. One of the last of the Chinese-born top players for Singapore. The Chinese-born player from Liaoning, who has been a strong hard hitter for Germany with one of the highest tosses in the game. Shan Xiaona only uses one side of the racket and still manages to thrill us all. That battle should be a fascinating clash of styles that will follow this match. The question is, will this match finish in 4, or will it come down to the decider? Alexis LEBRUN fixing the knee brace there, and the serve with the man who snuck it out after saving a game point. The dictator dictating for the first point of game 4.
It's just genius. It is just genius. The shot selection at certain times from Ma Long.
You had me in suspense. I like it. It was a good hook.
I should have had a few more geniuses, shouldn't I?
Yeah, give me genius, just genius.
What was the genius?
Yeah.
Ooh. He was coming in for the little dink, wasn't he, Ma Long?
This is what the internet's been wondering for the longest time when they see table tennis players. Now, most of the internet is not regularly watching professionals play. 12 of the last 16 for Ma Long here. And he continues. But it does take incredible control, confidence, and decision-making in terms of when to time taking a drop shot. You don't see pros trying it too often. Ma Long was very quick to even attempt it there, but there was no need as the lob or fishing shot didn't really come down. Slow spin. Now, when Coach Molan was speaking French earlier, I thought I heard something to the effect of relax. And as you and I have talked about, that relaxed factor allows you a bit more spin and even a bit more versatility, more options in what you can play.
Wow. I mean, that fanning backhand there still returned in that way.
How do you bother Ma Long? What can you do to this guy right now? Alexis comes with power. That one right there, so much spin, and Ma Long didn't blink. Acted like it was nothing out of the ordinary when it was anything but. Ma Long said the only thing he's afraid of is injury. And when you watch him stand there, having won 14 of the last 16 points, it's just unbelievable. When you watch him stand on the receive with one hand at the top of his bulging quad, and you think this 35-year-old is outlasting every other Chinese man in the last several decades who's represented table tennis's most dominant nation, it makes you want to eat your finger. What else can you do at this point? 7-1. Dictators be dictating. The strawberry finally caused a little bit of acid burn on the other side.
Bit of respite there for Alexis.
Oh, wow.
A backspin one. But it was bouncy, so it made Ma Long tempted to come in, quite rightly, to try and hit that.
Shot selection seemed right. Not an easy ball. Credit to Alexis. Again, good spin. I felt like that was another example of sound. It was a very quiet, faint, thin contact.
Tinsley, wasn't it?
Probably. I'm going to Google that word and get back to now.
Probably not a word. We've invented new ones in this sport, haven't we?
No, you're good. Your vocabulary is just better than mine. I don't know how to read.
All right.
3 serving 8. Alexis LEBRUN in trouble now. Water starting to boil. Good placement on the push. Ma Long thought he knew, and usually he does. Let's take a look at this one more time. Soft shot. And he was looking to turn and play the forehand step around, but it was perfectly placed deep, and he had to pause in his step and backtrack.
When you're capable of such powerful play, when you have that kind of weaponry, it takes maturity, doesn't it, to play the softer shot. Sometimes you could say it even takes bravery in certain moments to play a softer, what seems to be a safer shot.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say brains, but yeah, bravery as well, for sure, all of that. That's the thing. I feel like while there is machismo, you know, these players are working out hard. They're growling, showing their strength, doing what they can. At the end, if you played a touch shot to win it, you won it.
Exactly.
Speaking of touch shots, it is Ma Long here surviving that one with the heavy spin, and here's for France. And it has been done, settled. Ma Long, a handshake, a quick look up for a little eye contact.